Great, the United States substantially reduced military presence in Republic of Turkey, advanced one security. Turkish tactical news because Russia was calculated the first strike that caused rapid escalation all at war. Size 16. During war detention, he's not like the US fighting against good today. Harker closely monitored the provided during crisis, stable Moscow to use nuclear weapons. Calling first week when they started to restore NATO on Russia. Can use the original from Black Sea Mediterranean, so it's America's support deployed to look at rail corruption to precursor for strike. Specifically pick up a job action wars for deterrence for Russian reaction. That's unique to Turkey. Size 16. BC's going to be supposed to cover up the job for nuclear flash and Turkey controversy. And on which determination of obstacles to support in every case, but Turkey was using aircraft Turkey. These are possible of reliability of security bombs used. It was no longer changing the way of Turkey. The risk is high now. Ukraine decaying Russian oil warning infrastructure makes accidental escalation likely. Putin has highly nuclear Russian systems are dangerous to vulnerable areas and counter-information receiver likely to be heightened. Potentially controlling this big position ambiguity for accommodation, intervention, training exercise. Russia's always able to adequate monitoring terrible danger technical. Independently, Turkey still nukes and gives them to terrorist capability exists and jeopardizes nuclear security. Ruben, 20 everyone is heading to America's regular cases, soldiers, tailors, the coup, and everyone. Conflict distribution, conflict of Turkey said also our national excitement. Arrested for legacy more personal. American security has the Department of Forcing the enemy president of the House of cannot afford wage to pay a copy overnight evacuation restore strong to welcome 90% to actually decide Americans. Turkey reverse engineers the nuke stoppage. 20. Possibly under constant pressure pose a potential danger to security, which Turkey has handled the gas and threats. Turkey's engineering value on how to go cold, desires and inevitable destruction of Western institutions. NATO unreliability and regional threats. Turkey doesn't trust the security guarantee laden. Charles 19. Everyone see we've near Israel right contention to reflect everyone view the capabilities manifestation of development that Turkey's background relevant on card as a community NATO after coup watches possible alternative to influence Turkey finds intensive develop future capabilities everyone see to be viewed in crisis in relations and car believes that is waiting Turkey must prepare multiple systems to review the critique of an international system accused security for proxy will give the Iranian effort to change everyone feels central with the ability to become nuclear terror causes extinction bears 19 nuclear terror gets workable to nuclear war terror comes in another state in response to public way to govern strikes here strongholds in regional place to isolate nuclear form the US would react to reaction every nuclear conflict to one involved every nuclear state would come to the Chinese species advantage to its belligerence Turkish revisionism is an existential threat to the liberal order and wants expansionist policy will destabilize the Mediterranean make war navigable charges 12-7 Two key ways everyone says persist towards authoritarianism, search nationalism occur the next phases on the way each one dynamics combined with that inflation creates a challenge world had to make a clear distinction between tactical adjustments to goals and vision and implies a challenge of Western democracy peace. The vision plus of civilization across the century Turkey encompasses Turkey challenge. The liberal order of an anti-Russian bricks fundamental strategy remains constant. NATO and the EU continue to see collaboration to prevent making control of distorted and fears. The balance of the state of tension crisis and instability the world is undergoing transition to American order to nature and unclear plans key. Everyone uses military presence as a bargaining chip and molding Russia present. 20 remind everyone that allies can only push the overstar when German presence for instance good. Standing up to West with everyone needs a challenge and messaging Russia as proof Western results company which remind Turkey that no members in the logically because less important increase in Iranian perennial possible Turkey providing news to US operation pursue cooperation with Antonelli doing there's precedent for closer clearing the way for cooperation for Philippines. Iceland Prime Minister views Turkey will let Russia based in Italy alliance collapse inevitable Turkey is already pursuing new security arrangement with Russia enabling extremism and 115 under Erdogan relationship with German no longer an ally because after China Russia purchased S-400 enable extremist forces in Syria launched an air strike of partners held American citizens hostage refused key destination for stages key destination for list of civil war Moscow right opposite anti-press refuses to secure funds unambiguous US pressure is necessary Turkey weaponizes US in action and inducement to expand into Western Asia license 20 EU global approach to convinces everyone White House not going to dump harsh measures on clear countries into Turkey says message to our not going to tolerate for Mediterranean while Washington encourages Turkey to implement revisions plans these US approach and encourages Moscow will Turkey's new revisions encourage all will continue policies which are causing Turkey now the launch of the Western office of all and direct participation in treated bombings US later on growing possibility for crisis go Turkey always had revisions and hesitancy not help with Turkish culture behaviors consider weakness revisions and will get bigger now the time for America to adopt this stance the app is the only option Turkey is an unreliable ally making withdrawal the most effective way to keep them in check Erdogan's ability to condition US access to intelligence news and both its domestic nationalism and revisionism could contain in the US more hunting the nuclear policies number deals results Turkey than the US because of international overlooking people to access to intelligence based on domestic Turkey's international beliefs vulnerable to less and prevention Turkey's after that regard for US interest pocket good on reciprocal efforts successful administration discounted Americans and everyone encouraged the conspiracy theories that silence reinforces no consequence but trying to sell high data like dialogues unlikely to arrest economy and expending resources punishing policy we could recognize the following structurally adjust expectations and develop strong stance like basic become useful Turkey's domestic policy 20% permission place with national search and possible regions and no longer share choices to Turkish access in 2014 US proves to be effective with that like which also heads that draws in NATO, France, Israel, and Egypt which escalates Southwest 20 Is Turkey's policy in the Middle East, Africa, everyone's targets against the Mediterranean, Black Sea, Turkey, and allies with allies, everyone using relations with NATO to legitimize these missions, moves $100 to start competition, leads blocking in some ways. NATO's emissions targets competition between Turkey, Greece, France, Egypt, Israel, no longer thinkable. Israel drawn goes nuclear for all 20. North to Israeli nuclear program line period to seek to develop military advantage, there's no question Israel when can consider using weapons balance which out of this favor scenarios involve hostility between Israel and more following neighbors. Turkey's policy might take a negative direction, nuclear weapons to remain part of the toolkit. Independently, Turkey's adventures and destroys US French relations, green light, strategic autonomy, greedy. 21. Macron pushing for strategic autonomy, Middle East and Africa to neighborhood, not the US, one build, language mentioned, military superstructure, concerns Turkey, NATO, no need to pay ahead, key to new auto action, Turkey potential create situation in Syria, Turkey launch attack against the Russia's credibility, US, destroy alliance to prepare for the world overseas when it comes to diversion. France modernizes and adopts escalate, de-escalate doctrine, goes nuclear, 17. French would encourage large arsenals to ensure technically for deterrence. Just due to the geography, the U.S. back here to make limited nuclear war possible, France has used one number of limited war, and symbolize an ultimate warning which used to build escalation control for the U.S. So Union more time France and American deterrence achieved by global secondary issues called with threshold nuclear number triggers crisis with small arsenal of vulnerable preemptive attacking and parties like the job of LOW, posture command will not be clear, aversion will not be outside by first use forward to play weapons of activity. Turkey returning to the West is an unrealistic criteria. The only way to change the behavior is to get rid of their laboratory. 20. Erdogan announcing Sweden membership triggered all countries. Turkey returned to the West is product of a sunfall fallacy. Hierarchical relations between followers and advertisers. Turkey's goal to be safe from Western allies. Sweden's about turning the tables on the North Atlantic specific agenda of the West for the settlement standard, the sustained settlement on Turkey. Everyone's applied. As far as the set standards for Western countries, the commentators such as binary ideological rational countries can be rational and pursuing God's other views. Ideological everyone is essentially opposed to Western dominance. Turkey needs to remain in it. The only other option being enemy reigning and security. The framing the standards maximizing effective well-being. Extinction outweighs billions of death. 17. It is good for people to exist and extinguish the practical and draining killing people would die painful death. It would mean the loss of the only known form of intelligent life. Human capacity for rationality is valuable and existing people would endure physical pain and painful premature deaths. There can only be various psychological effects of intense publicity with no more human project will end with you.
Okay. Process?
Yeah.
What's the internal for Israel getting drawn in?
Well, our argument is that when Israel perceives a displacement of the balance of power, they get looped in because they fear their own regional security.
Okay, regional security, there's obviously a war going on in the Middle East. Hamas just attacked Israel.
Yeah.
The card is from 2020.
Yeah, argument
What
is,
this
argument, first of all, that the card is specific to Turkish expansion within the Eastern Mediterranean. Our argument is that Israel perceives that once Turkey has the ability to go past its regional borders, it will not stop there because of its neo-Ottoman revisionist agenda, which means that they perceive their empire as next, which is why they get drawn.
The internal link for France, it says that, quote, France wishes to extend nuclear deterrence in the future, and it's about extended deterrence. What's the internal scenario for France extended deterrence shaping your impact?
Wait, what? No, well, the internal link is that the reason why France would adopt the escalate to de-escalate doctrine is because of fears that the US is cozying up to Turkey. Our argument is that causes draw-in. The card above it is all NATO gets drawn in, France, Israel, Egypt, Saudi, all these countries get drawn in because it is literally in their backyard.
Advantage 1, the no shotting card, after the paragraph after your card ends, it says, quote, the nuclear bombs that Israel aren't the only way that Turkey can acquire that information. It cites things like the nuclear energy industry, Russian nuclear exports, etc. as other ways Turkey could get access.
Exactly.
Why are American nukes?
Yeah, so our argument is that it is much, much easier for Turkey to seize the nuclear weapons and fissile material that already exists than literally develop an entire nuclear program.
Okay, if Turkey already has things like a nuclear energy industry, which all has fissile material, and Russia's aiding it in the status quo, why does it need American nukes in order
to... This is all the cards on the deft advantage, which are it takes a very long time to develop a nuclear program. By that time, sanctions would happen, backlash would happen, etc. But seizing nukes is an immediate way that Erdogan would be able to possess them.
Okay, the Stripler card, it says, quote, the RAND Corporation has noted it can spark conflict when one nation misinterprets its event. It says things like, quote, training exercise, weather phenomena, or malfunction.
The Stripler evidence says that the reason why all of these things, weather malfunctions, etc., are interpreted as an intent to strike is because there are nuclear weapons in Turkey in the first place. The only reason why all regional threats exist is because Russia perceives that there are nuclear weapons within Incirlik, which is why they have heightened mistrust.
Okay, your uniqueness for the France scenario, it was written in 2000, it was written pre-Ukraine. Obviously, post-Ukraine, there's been more NATO cohesion, especially among countries in Europe.
The France internal link, Macron is specifically very, very upset about the fact that NATO is cozying up to Turkey, which all of our, which the entire advantage is about. The Tarsus evidence said this is especially bad right now because the combination of ultranationalism with the Turkish politics and the declining value of their currency.
Sure, the Turkish, or the France internal, actually, never mind. The impact on advantage 1, prolif desire is inevitable. What's the terminal of prolif? Where did you write an impact to it? Is it just nuke terror?
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be 4 case is security revisionism. Can I use yours?
Yeah.
station. Military presence is limited to the station or forces substitute military presence. Refers to an area on land or sea where armed forces station has military activity institution and military facilities. Violation there. Offense or both advantages derived from the production of nuclear weapons. 28. Limits the ground weapons as well as whose every type of station like nukes, self-defense, or drones will also disorder key ground-based troop deployments. Precision outweighs top priority. This is based on net type to destroy competing interests. He says no questions. That's the best topic in order. So reusability, sharper, police to charge of offense, drop on VIs, being top close over and be that grab. See, next up. The Washington Declaration reinforces its commitment to use nukes and exchange for non-nuclear South Korea penetrating the U.S. assertion. So predicts by intensifying nuclear threat alliance using Washington Declaration reinforces its intent to so cannot blow commitment to certain cause where advocate for alliance zero so that using the perception so that considered about the increasing that any perceived whipping use commitment causes a good building target. Like the alliance is every piece of work critical assuring commitment by increasing how lawsuit converse and security commitments cause alliance combination so having capabilities of fencing home to practice whipping commitments cause alliance to build nukes again double with all these South Korean decides to use of advanced software. Because he's only capital by just waiting partners to the purpose of draw nukes and solely control by the allies and the American development commercial viability of their own arrangement Washington to cause a nuclear autonomy so confusing over the works of the future American press the East Asian Republic triggers nuclear war independently the acquisition and escalates the Middle East and World 23 and civil sees over new cities showing the national hostility yourself which people are testing against the escalation of the state there are antagonists and deficient indications of the state and stop pairs and play for CC's allies combination of nuclear and separate escalation nuclear crisis these the least of non-polar others are certain to fall in the Middle East with high probability of don't need to use it tells only on many states of not the war based on faulty assessment to enemies the nation constitute best first you'll be first second either in fear or preventive war second and escalation out of potential war and accident of use these of malfunction modern squad prevent pushing against allies which all increase the risk of war next up. The United States proposed in the North Atlantic Council reducing the military presence in Turkey. The United States should abide by the consultation. Turkey says yes, but lack of prior binding consultation distorts the alliance. Again, 12. Turkey indicated it would support withdrawal of POWs if it was considered beforehand. NATO was already in consensus premature removal of the alliance. Use of recommendations will be adopted by the NEC, becoming effectively binding by the process of collective formulation without setting prior fixed policies, key to legitimacy, and acceptance. Rolling 19 when matters of America, not NATO, and NEC make alignment possible to all allies, institutions, and permanency, represents legitimate consultation rules or action in its favor and offer or law by elements of getting allies to the line of equal, which demands are articulated American education prove effective advocating changes. Only must consultation allows to adapt to NATO that checks its affects central touch, uniting combating cyber terror, Afghanistan, Iraq with Iraq, the natives facing more diverse threats and not master and society, fragile state, pure practitioner, native to create risk overload, cannot rely on infrequent meetings with crises like India, Pakistan, so quickly events fit, out of control, global indication, NATO needs a better line consultation, machinery consultation, is that how to suppression needs to be revived, recalibration, make the lines successful for the next decades, must be immediate control, obligation to immediate expected and key to preserve, make out from one airship units, its links into competition based off of the civil actor prophecy that NTR check perms. Skip the next off, go to security. Numis are ready. Turkey cannot launch and extend the president with Suda-Q proper. 21 Turkey stopping Kuwait in place to drop PC-1 bombs only if it applies pursuit planes bomb list of Turkey out even after Q raised concerns. The last paragraph of Lincoln's threats would see that Turkey signed the NPT and is aligned with the US right now, inserted in purple and Russia and Ukraine share all constant development. US presence is uniquely key to check back against Poland and Erdogan is just posturing. When you see John 20 in Silicon only way Turkey war doing for new country industry and Russia into technology to pursue new that you can knowledge of weapons Turkey's best into continuing agreements. Erdogan's words bluster Schibler concedes whether and malfunction all constant inserting purple Schibler 22 to the plain constant Turkey relation lead to Turkey pull up and a power protection in the Middle East. Garfinkel 18 removing the Turkey competition big arms race insecurity crisis out of hand. WD Turkey new news has not exerted its Turkish trust in US other states above within 2 to 3 years make us a weapons stock region to weakening Dimension's reputation even outside system inside of Turkey. When you stabilize the protective power play independent role, you remove the US nukes with software force civilian nukes, remove like safety American unreliability which unlocks it global proliferation shake 16 only US nukes are shared in the alliance match with allied crews from Turkey weapons station to devastate alliance solidarity possession of the US not honor it's in the pledge road security most effective non-policy policy security guarantee several NATO countries Germany Japan's compatibility nukes which is not because they trust our commitment if the US were to withdraw no weapons for Turkey would be to know that the US can no longer be relied on leave Turkey to develop nukes of its own. They read a post impact in the 1EC but either way it escalates to lose nukes quoting 15 nukes ceasefire after the nukes pose threat to international security nuclear war nuclear terrorism instability reform United States like second strike deterrence assumes rational leaders no guarantee it hold in future nukes increase nuclear terrorism and terrorists acquired they would use possibility increases in new state underdeveloped security vulnerable to theft state classes resulting in breakdown lose nukes nuclear has insurmountable barriers it's impossible Mueller 18 nuclear groups have limited desire progress bomber cries receive trusting foreign criminals transporting partly guarded material establishing sophisticated shop and moving cumbersome untested weapon for detonation while hiding in surveillance and trying to stop revisionism. Sales of F-16s and support of Sweden membership approves a strong relationship in the Statuto Yesel task February to Turkey's ratification of Sweden's membership sale of fighter jets and Turkey's long-standing dispute resolved determined to maintain the relations. No evidence we will see January's parliamentary vote and military success against Russian-aligned actors have Geopolitical 126 contrary 23 Turkey ratified Sweden's accession a major step forward this week's parliamentary vote giving Washington and Ankara opportunity to chart a new course rapport with Unida translating to a broader security pivot towards Russia Turkish fortune register military successes against Russia-aligned actors in Syria Libya and the South Caucasus, lending credence to emergence as credible middle power. Turkey, Erdogan, middle power. Erdogan, U.S. NATO alliance high now. Most recent evidence, Russia check Liskovic to 5 her story. Erdogan may take Putin's side is completely rational. Does not mean Erdogan's political side of Putin's visit NATO is quite common. Turkey's deal foreign policy will continue as long as Erdogan is in power. Erdogan played the Western card. Turkey entire NATO Western capital transfer of commanders approval of Sweden and Turkey's public support of our country and joining the alliance. Turkey, Russia was forced to accept all its fact demonstrated neglect of Russian direction. Go down. The core premise is too old. It doesn't assume Ukraine and the post-October Turkey shift to post-October 7 Turkey shift to the United States. The Edelman period is wrong. It's about stuff for 23 and 2003. It doesn't assume the Sweden. The go down. The Israel drawing warrants to spy posts is unwarranted and just asserts drawn read their card. It does not prove or warrant any reason that 1 year will be new on this. Warrants are specific to Israel-Palestine conflict inserting 1 UC Berkeley 19 and the reference stuff grade is pre-Ukraine and cites stuff from 2015 which proves a thumper and at all costs that the plane cannot solve. Plus, it's about France offering extended deterrence to other countries, which is not their internal link. Their card also does not have a warrant for escalation. It just explains France's current nuclear doctrine. Lynbrook inserts purple. Plus, France is aligned with NATO more than ever because of Ukraine and their evidence. It seems current unique. France 24-12. FM France, Germany, and Poland started a relationship between EU and NATO. France fight for security protection unrestricted Macron supplying Ukraine, make Europe a power company. To NATO, Putin not allowed to win, fulfill obligation towards Ukraine. Go down. The process of unilateral revision to nuclear policy destabilizes NATO. Only dedicated consultation prevents NATO collapse. Lomnoska, 18 severe adjustment, unsettled ally, unilateral withdrawal abandonment, fears intensify allies, so doubtful approval, empirics support this action, pride, in faster interest, and such action include major redeployments, American decision makers, recalibrate to shape perception, unmost supports Harker planners, think about effects, and Huawei make a little tactical sense, but shifting destabilization of most matter alliance allies, pay attention to commitments. NATO solves adventurism, goal has 20 Turkey to veto defense plans quickly back down out of fear of NATO fears equals fierce defense underlying in so like it doesn't either way it doesn't kill the alliance all clear 20 invoking Article 5 lead to diplomatic development no desire for anyone most likely and is negotiated settlement there would be no legal basis alliance are outside geographical Soviet treaties will not transform into a broader conflict all of their evidence is older all their unique assumptions for Turkey relations and NATO collapse now is older than ours which means you prefer on recency of Sweden.
Are you good?
Yeah, one sec. Yeah,
Other than you didn't read the advantage account plan, other than that, did you extend anything other than ASPEC?
ASPEC's in the doc, but no,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Okay.
so,
Status of the account plan.
conditional.
Okay, the NAC account plan, the Olgan evidence is from 2012. It's before the Erdogan election, and it says that Turkey says yes. And on the case, you've read the Garfinkel evidence, which says that Turkey would proliferate if we took the nukes out. Why would they say yes?
Okay, the Olgan evidence is specific. It says that if Turkey is consulted by the entirety of NATO, and if it's involved in a NATO decision-making process, that prevents its fears of broader proliferation and broader being kicked out of NATO. The reason that Garfinkel cites as to why Turkey would proliferate as a result of American withdrawal is because it signals to Turkey that it is no longer part of the alliance. If it is consulted beforehand, Turkey still feels like it's part of the alliance.
The Saudi assurance is that,
So,
South Korea
yeah.
assurance is that the Harvey evidence says that we are doing nuclear sharing in constant reassurance to Saudi. Why is Turkey key to Saudi assurance?
Sure. I think Stratford is pretty specific. It says, quote, withdrawal, this is the highlighted part, quote, withdrawal of nukes from Insulik could drive other allies under the American umbrella to question the viability of their own arrangements. The card warrants this because South Korea looks at Turkey and sees that it's a key regional power. It views American and Turkey relations as being based off of nuclear weapons, and it views its own relations as being the same. When America pulls out of Turkey...
Wait, South Korea is way more allied with the US than they are with Turkey. Why would they care?
Well, yeah, this is South Korea would care about withdrawal from Turkey because Turkey is the main American regional partner in the Middle East, just like South.
Wait, no, that's Israel. Wait, what? Why would South Korea care about Turkey?
Well, the card warrants that because
Okay,
Turkey and allies.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the uniqueness evidence indicates that the uniqueness evidence Panda indicates that the only reason why Saudi Ahsoka is feeling reassured is because we are committed to defending all allies under the American security umbrella.
The case page.
Yeah.
On the security advantage, did you read the shake card?
The shake card? Yes, I did.
Okay. The revisionism advantage. Why does wait? Actually, hold up. The Russia stuff. Was the Shipler was the only answer the Shipler card?
Wait. So I inserted Shipler, and then the NATO terms apply from advantage too.
Okay, the NATO advantage turns. Why does is the only link to this NATO stuff like unilaterally not consulting Turkey?
Not consulting the alliance as a whole prior, which includes Turkey, but yeah, when those gets
Okay, wait, why would normal means not be a consultation?
Well, okay, that would not guarantee that the act would occur. There's a risk that our allies would say no, which means that would not.
Right,
and
which is
also,
our argument. Okay,
there's a risk allies would say no, which means it is not normal means for the plan to consult them because there's a risk that the plan could not occur. You have to fiat like that the United States withdraws, you have to fiat the United States withdraws because there's a risk that allies say no. It's not normal means to consult.
$149.
I'm good.
I got the. I just got the. All right, I'm good.
It's going to be the Russia, like the first security advantage, the revisionism advantage, the South Korean proliferation inside, the T, and then the console NAC.
I'm good.
Okay.
All concede no means remote and nuclear terror impossible, which takes out the street term. There's Russian war causes extinction, constitutes escalation because Russian misreads intent to use, which causes nuclear strikes. The only answer is the Schindler evidence, which is all causes, which is obviously wrong. Remember when I see context where they asked me this question, I said that the reason why Russia perceives it as Russia perceives weather malfunctions, all these old causes as something that's threatening is because the nuclear weapons was only unilaterally removing them when be able to solve it. Russian war causes extinction, which was dropped out. We saw attack the second advantage. Turkey adventures and cascades and escalates flashpoints across the Eastern Mediterranean, causes World War III, loops and great powers. They drop Egypt and France. Egypt escalates and causes extinction, and France and Israel also get looped in. Always on time frames, coalition hesitancy to climb with Turkish nationalism, inflation accelerating. So now it's the time for America and every day causes risk of resolvable Turkish conflict. That's like I said, Tarsius at the top. The Sweden and group the first two cards. Sweden and the military useless uniqueness are backwards. They're both about Sweden, but they drop that. The reason why Turkey even ratified Sweden's secession is because they blackmailed the West into giving them F-16s, which proves that Turkey is able to use unconstrained Turkish unconstrained adventurism and the ability to extract concessions for the West. They drop the content interlink and the cook interlink, which says that having interlink as hanging over the West heads makes them cave into Turkish demands. The relations by now is also irrelevant because they dropped a structural claim about relations. I'm not going for the core evidence. Edelman doesn't assume Sweden. This is wrong. It is about new stuff like economic cooperation with China, new missile defense cooperation with Russia, and literally allying with Hamas and routinely bombing U.S. allies, which is not from 2003, and it's definitely new. Yes, Israel drawing. The argument is about it is because it's in Israel's backyard, so they perceive that Turkey will keep expanding until they get looped in. France, France also goes nuclear. The thumb is wrong because it's about the U.S. cozying up to Turkey in the status quo, which is uniqueness, which is expounded by the uniqueness, which is the Tarsius evidence of yes, France escalation because they escalated, adopted de-escalate to de-escalate doctrine because they are super escalatory since they're a small state, which is below the NATO turn. NATO collapse inevitable, Turkey creates infighting through adventurism. With other member states, it causes inevitable war, fracturing always on magnitude, high from only plans, laws enforcing. Turkey's hand case, straight charge normal means relocates nuclear allies who are willing like Greece, Romania, the UK, which also self-linked on the dissent, the one seen earlier. Evidence is prescriptive. Also concedes revision solved, revision, the normal means its consultation values. Any other church, if you had green lights, consult, infinite, consult, counterplans, pull up inevitable. On the dissent, NATO likes the plan, they hate Turkey, Algeria. 23 minutes of Atlantic hitting states, all Turkey from the EU, when no critical Libya, Russian weapons, tensions, Turkey's Venezuela, centuries, authorities wanted Russia, Italy, French companies with the French, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, and Sweden, which also proves they know the Turkey prologue dissent at the top dissent was return one is new answers to drop preamble and vision. Since quote, peace, inevitable, because the strategic goals and unchecked economy, the after all, the red line that shows Turkey, we don't need them. The alliance collapse inevitable, which is above no link weapons are operationally useless. They have no F-15s to carry them and no one wants them. Removal has no effect on ally perception because allies know their liability. Other countries thumb, prologue, desire inevitable. Turkey is a trust security guarantee to talks to withdrawal, which makes shout Soko prologue inevitable. Soko is much closer to the US. They collaborate just like Turkey as well. No chance or close with Gummy. 23. Washington declaration is the way to form security. So refrain from developing so new Soko recount in the NGT reforming. We will refrain from commits nuclear weapons deployment. US strategic gas down directly continuously. No South Korea clear 23. Soko can go into 30% of electricity weapons program export reactions out of Stockholm. Uranium, topicality, counter the absence and specified ground resolution. One, reading all means is better than the incorrect definition. Also, we met this. We said it's USFG and the one is plain text. We made plain text vacuum questions, self-deniality, and counter your interrupts are off, counter ability, presence, military assets, top all, two definite military presence, considered military activity, non-combatant military, non-engaged presence activity, goes from military, script their assets include weapons, or two, military assets, personnel, weapons, and equipment, at least 61 qualified, 20 military assets include greater amounts of weapons, and prepared defense against like amounts of B61 nuclear bombs, precision, for non-stealing, especially predictable interpretation, topics, vision, ground war, important, and overloading the refrigeration, which is all advantage potential scenarios on large North American military forces abroad. No ground offensive is the biggest 4 American posturing above. Afghan solve any advantages. Reasonably ground being literature key to avoid self-destruct the NEC campaign Purdue didn't stop competition on BT, Purdue campaign obligation, definitional obligation, flexibility exchange should have been starting for the 5 user conditionality, perm plan, consolidated war military presence, can't solve any of the NEC requires total constitution and NATO, and you don't even know NATO constitutional citizenship. Turkey says no, we're going to post the card about how Europe don't further affairs national security of NATO security proven by agreements. Russia asked for 100 arresting American civilians, air striking. If the US went to them and you proposed it, concept of new double line, either NATO, like Turkey wants to keep nukes, so it can solve, or
No theoretical reasons for Turkey, right?
no.
Okay, T, consult counter plan. So could be advantage 1, advantage 2. No parts.
Sorry, just say it one more time.
Oh, yeah, sure. T, consult counter plan. So code DA, advantage 1, advantage 2. No cards.
One second.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm good.
Okay. Roshan, you're good. Not code for T, there are no RBS, not code for the console counter plan, LTT, perms, there are tested competition, not advocacy to anything else, ships the apps and that ships the app in the one to see either way. I'm not going for the concentration turn on case, which 0 is the turn, not the date. Okay. Japan and South Korea proliferation causes extinction. They get the bomb fast, causing an unstable regional arms race that drops in. China and North Korea can start a nuclear war. That's symbol. The app causes proliferation. Officials are paranoid. Only the umbrella provided to Turkey, which is a key regional ally in the Middle East, provides a visible defense and devastating response to a North Korean attack. Any reduction causes a nuclear laden South Korea to consider an indigenous program that undermines arms control versus welfare pillar. Pulling news from a key regional ally like Turkey gives South Korea the perception that they are next because it means that there's no way that they can trust their own security breach or prepare Stratford because it mentions instantly, unlike any of the evidence, one error read. The link turns case 1, instability. U.S. non-proliferation makes Alice feel comfortable in terms of hostile escalation, magnifies escalation risk in every sector, which includes the Middle East, which is a warrant in the symbolic card that was completely dropped because the perception of South Korean proliferation caused more proof in the Middle East. This was warranted in the symbolic card, which is no new to our answers. Now, the limelight here, the so-called collaborations of 1, it doesn't see the perception link that Tracker has. Even if the so-called doesn't like Turkey as a country in the status quo, it still likes American security umbrella. The Tracker link is specific. It said that because Turkey is such a key ally for the United States and has been for decades, so-called perceives the security agreement between the United States and Turkey built off the news as being the most important one to America. That's why leaders like South Korea's Prime Minister have said that they care the most about the Turkey's lines, which was the warrant in the Cyber card 2. You drop the link that any shift in security commitments cause South Korean proliferation because of the Washington Declaration. The Washington Declaration is not just promising South Korea that they will collaborate with nuclear weapons in South Korea right now, but rather is committed to the United States to improve the nuclear umbrella across the board by ensuring that all of our allies that are protected under the nuclear umbrella right now still gain access to it, still gain access to it, and that will not withdraw. That was the Harvey link, which was completely dropped, which means that you know that there's this 100% risk of it. The other warrant to 2 point is that it doesn't, even if there's collaboration, and even if South Korea hates Turkey right now, this doesn't turn the DA or implicate it in either way because Tracker says that there's only a risk that the collaboration in the status quo between Turkey and South Korea from proliferating are evidence sites that South Korean leaders have wanted American security umbrella expansions, not reductions, which is each approach on the specificity. Now the next argument, Washington Declaration, this is half unique because Panda is more recent. It says things like the Washington Declaration, which is committed across the board to improve the American security umbrella, ensures that South Korea will proliferate because the United States had committed to them in the status quo. Their card is neg uniqueness. The Washington Declaration, as mentioned above, is not just protecting South Korea, but protecting our new umbrella. The warrant, there's also no warrant in the card as to why South Korea is complete, as to why uniqueness would overwhelm the link, which was not in the 1 error, and it's not implicated in this card. It just says that South Korea is committed to NPT. Obviously, a major thing like a shift in our alliance units across the board would shift that. Now, the only others response I have to go for respond to is no South Korean proliferation, but you should keep in mind they marked it at the word uranium. This is 2 sentences, and it did not have a warrant. You cannot go vote on this. Either way, there's yes to South Korean proliferation. The boss says that the potential is high now because of the fear of North Korean threats. Another evidence takes into account the existential danger that North Korea poses to South Korea. It would do things like improve its military capabilities rapidly, using things like its tech and its economy. You also can see it from Staffer and Panda that South Korea is one of the most developed economies of the world. It has access to tech. It is a tech hub. It can easily get access, even if it does not have uranium. It can do things like buy it or steal it, or even just ask its companies to buy it for them, which is all conceded. There are warrants in the Staffer card that say South Korea is an economy, and that's why it can get used. Either way, we do not have to win that South Korea literally proliferates, and the symbolic impact says that the risk of proliferation are now so trigger inadvertent war because China will fear that once South Korea proliferates, it will instantly attack China, which means that China will try to first strike South Korea in order to take out any nuclear capabilities, which will ensure nuclear war. That's Staffer as well. When it was extremely light, it cut the card early. This is not mature. Okay, at the top, there's no Russia impact in the 1AC. They did not read a terminal saying Russia war causing picture, just that there would be a Russia war. Any 1 year analysis of why it would go nuclear was not warranted in any of their cards. You do not provide them this impact. I don't even have to respond to it because there's simply no card in the 1AC that said Russia war it would be existential. Either way, it would take far too long for American pick and drop posture to actually result in nuclear escalation. Our link is perception, which means it definitely always looked high for you. Now, Garfinkel zeros and turns the first advantage. Garfinkel and Shake zeros and turns the first advantage. Removing nukes on Turkey base instability in the Middle East or use Turkish trust in the US. That forces it and other countries in the Middle East to proliferate since American credibility is the only thing that prevents them from getting in the status quo. Conceding defense is insufficient because we have read a new terminal to proliferation. The Crony card says that loose nukes escalate globally by causing a miscalc and escalation across the board, which is an impact that outweighs and turns the entire first advantage by both advantages because it causes instability in the Middle East, which still draws in aggregate power. Now, the straight turn is wrong. You conceded explicitly at the top that Turkey does not have the means and motive to steal the nukes because it does not have the B-61 capabilities, which is proper, which it does not. I'll answer revisions later, but this is not. But even if Turkey is sufficient, the fact that it does not have the means to steal the nukes or reverse engineer them means that there's only a risk that Turkey's proliferation. The removal has no effect on allied assurances. We read a specific link to Soko, and the Sheikh card said it was Soko which answers this. They cannot cross-apply this new to an because our link is more specific. The pro desired inevitable thing does not matter if Turkey does not have the capability to do so. Even if Erdogan wants to take the nukes, he cannot because he does not have the capability to do so. When I mishandle this, it turns into second advantage because it caused a regional war. Second advantage. At the top, Egypt estimates to not have a terminal, but when I say they do not have nukes, means I don't really have to respond to this. Even if there is a war in the Middle East, they need to go nuclear to have any chance of outweighing the South Korean impact, which is there's simply no risk of it. Now, France, there's no risk of the French impact because the France 24 evidence is more recent. There's it's only evidence that takes into account Ukraine. It says that France has been collaborating with the United States and the status quo over things like Ukraine and with other European countries in making EU a more strong power. Our evidence is more recent than theirs, and it's the only evidence that takes into account Ukraine, which answers this now that Israel stuff is their only hope for an impact left in the post-1 era. But there's no Israel impact. They just assert John. I want you to read their internal link card for John. It names dropped Israel once. It does not say that Israel it does not say that Israel would go nuclear. Now, I'll also extend that they're all causes. Hamas literally attacked Israel and slaughtered many of its civilians, and literally Israel is more focused on things like Middle Eastern coffee and the status quo. There's only a risk that more proliferation would lead to Hamas getting nukes, which turns Israel as a way the attack conceded. Now, wait.
149. Sorry. It's the Russia advantage, like security advantage, the revisionism advantage, the DA.
All right, I'm good.
We good? Yeah.
We'll concede Russian war is not existential, but our evidence will be an internal the other advantage, the second advantage. They've dropped every single one of our internal link evidence, and causative evidence says that internal link is a politically untouchable topic that hangs over negotiations was only removable reverse causally solves Turkish adventurism. The internal link is dropped, which means it starts 100%. No, yes, Israel draw, and they've dropped a quote from our evidence, a quote, origins of Israel nuclear program lie the fear that the states would develop a military advantage. No question, Israel could consider using weapons if the balance is tipped out of our favor, which also answers the all causes argument. They're all irrelevant because Israel does not perceive the balance is tipped out of favor with Hamas right now, but continued expansion guarantees that, which means you know with 100% that expansionism will cause Israeli nuclear lash out, you should start that at 100%. You cannot. They dropped the time frame weighing slow Western hesitancy combined with Turkish nationalism and inflation is accelerating revisionism. So quote, now is the time for America every day compounds the risk of irresolvable Turkish conflict. That's alliance and Tarsius evidence. You cannot go for a disad when you have conceded that alliance collapse is inevitable from NATO. They dropped that the alliance rips apart that Turkish expansionism rips apart NATO now, which means that NATO security guarantee collapses, which means so not only is South Korean proliferation is inevitable, but every single ally will proliferate inevitably because the alliance security guarantee, the Washington Declaration, all of their uniqueness arguments, etc., all get destroyed the second because Turkish expansionism will inevitably rip that apart. That was one error argument on the disadvantage page, which means that we control a large range link to the dissent, also have a risk of external impact. Dissent problem. Gut check, they dropped South Korea is committed to the NPT, which means that the link threshold is so high because South Korea has to literally bring every single declaration, risk sanctions, and backlash, etc., which means you know with 100% certainty that the AFRX is the risk of the straight turn because it prevents not only Turkey from proliferating by reading in interest, which is on the advantage, which also zeroes their graphical evidence, but it also prevents South Korea from proliferating because the U.S.'s commitment, because South Korea's commitment to the NPT outweighs the fact that Turkey would lose nuclear weapons, which is also expounded by the fact that they dropped that removal has no effect on ally perception. The one error argument was, quote, allies know their reliability and other countries thump. We pulled weapons out of Iceland, Philippines, etc., which all should have thumped the link. There's no reason why Turkish deterrence is specifically necessary. The link does not turn the case. Our argument is about Turkey expansionism within the Eastern Mediterranean. The time frame link was answered above. The perception neutral link is wrong because allies don't care about it. The nukes are operationally useless and do not serve any deterrent value, which means there's obviously no reason why they would care. The Washington Declaration uniqueness overwhelms the link, which is all above. The quote from the Trunar argument. The quote from the Trunar was that the U.S. is, quote, committed to them. In the SQO, obviously South Korea knows that Turkey is distinct from them because they are a revisionist power that's not the same as a power that's committed to NATO, which means they would not risk all the backlash that would come from discommitting from the NPT, which just massively overwhelms the link. The China war scenario is wrong because it relies on the fact that South Korea proliferates in the first place, which they obviously win for the reasons that was expounded above. I don't need to win the capability dissent because they're not winning any uniqueness for their internal links because they dropped the NATO collapse inevitable, and they dropped that every ally will inevitably proliferate, including Turkey, because they fear for their own security since NATO will collapse, which means there's only a risk of our external offense. They drop uniqueness, no risk of offense.